everybody, welcome back to Movie Horizon, and we're talking about Happy Death Day to You, and in particular we're talking about two problems that I had with the film while watching it. So let's get right into it. The first problem is that, as you know, if you've seen the film, she was in a cycle. Every time she died, she would go back to the beginning of the day, and she was trying to accumulate clues and piece together information on each cycle to solve a problem. I'll just summarize it that way. And sometimes she died unintentionally, and other times she was almost eager to die to set forth the next cycle, so to speak. So she came up with a number of creative ways, I'll call them creative ways to, I'll just say, end her own life. I'm not necessarily going to call it suicide, because I think that kind of puts a certain amount of intent behind it. At any rate, you know what I'm talking about. So, at one point she jumps out of an airplane. She's not wearing a parachute and just falls flat on the pavement. And in another instance, she literally jogs into, I guess you would call it like a branch mulcher, and dies, everything like that. And then in another scene, she's in either a supermarket or hardware store, and she's like just guzzling down a jug of, I'm not sure if it's laundry detergent or antifreeze or one or the other. At any rate, you get the idea that it's some type of household chemical that's very toxic and could kill you if you were to drink it, which nobody does in real life, where you'd be crazy to drink all that amount and guzzle it like she was doing. And that's where I have a little problem, because these other methods where she's jogging into the mulcher and jumping out the airplane, those are obviously over the top. No, you couldn't even conceivably do those things. It's just so over the top as to be comical. But going into a store, grabbing a bottle of detergent or something like that, antifreeze, and standing in the store and guzzling it down, to me that just felt a little too real for comfort. We already know that children die from eating like those little pods of laundry detergent, small children. And the fact of the matter is, laundry detergent is readily available, and pretty much everybody has laundry detergent in their house. So I found it a little unsettling to see them doing it on a film screen. The other problem is that she was in this alternate world where her mother was now alive, and then she was faced with a dilemma of going back to the quote-unquote real world where her mother was not alive. And so she was very conflicted about returning to the world where her mother was not alive, because that would, in effect, I'll just say, remove her mother from her life. Now, I don't want to go as far as to say she's killing her mom, but the way they portrayed it almost made it feel that way. They could have done it in a very subtle way, but they kind of framed it more like she was to blame, or she would be to blame, or she was kind of causing it. That was very uncomfortable to get that feeling. And as I said, they could have done it in a more subtle way, but they advanced that notion with her wanting to go visit her mom, in essence, quote unquote, one last time, before going back to the laboratory. It just, that sort of just reinforced this notion that, like, Mom, I'm sorry, what I have to do, but I have to do this, I'm sorry. Plus the fact that she couldn't explain this to her mother, so she kind of had to let on to her mom that everything's fine, no problems. Yet in her mind, she knew what was going to happen. And, just that whole scenario just seemed very unsettling, even as sort of a plot point. At any rate, beyond that, I thought the film was very average and forgettable. It really was not scary enough to be a scary film, and not really funny enough to be an effective comedy. So I really didn't find it very successful on either level. The serial killer was just your average, mundane, stereotypical, stupid, chasing, non-clever killer with a knife. It didn't break any new ground. It was something that you could see on just about any television show, like Scream Queens or something like that. Nothing compelling, nothing provocative, nothing that you haven't seen before. So So I really didn't find the film compelling really on any level. So that's my thoughts on the film. Hope you enjoyed my opinions, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.